Right at the beginning of The Witcher 3, usually players will just play through the story for a bit, and they'll just progress until maybe they're out of White Orchard, or they're just far enough into the story to the point where there is a large amount of side quests to complete. Well, what if I told you that right at the beginning of The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, you shouldn't just play through the story? In today's video, we're going to be going over what to do right at the beginning of The Witcher 3. But just before we do get into all of that, please be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any content just like this. Are you interested in starting your very own Discord server, but you just simply don't know where to start? Well, I've got you covered. I've been using Discord daily for many years now, and in that time I've created and managed many servers, some of which have achieved over 5,000 active members. I've worked with YouTubers with over 150,000 subscribers and even cryptocurrency organizations. So whatever the server may be, I can confidently say that I'll be able to create and even manage an active server for your community. These servers will include really popular features and a very professional design. And if you want the best of the best, I can even throw in your very own custom Discord bot. So if you are interested in getting started or have any questions, then hit the link in description or the pinned comment that will take you straight to my Fiverr page. So you are right at the beginning of The Witcher 3. You've just got the chance to step out onto that balcony and take a look at that view. And from this point, there's a few things that I think you should do. The first one is to play through the tutorials. You're going to get a few tutorial options through the dialogue at the beginning of the game, and obviously if you played the game before then don't do this, but if you haven't then honestly I really do suggest playing through these tutorials. It will help you loads. The combat system and all the mechanics in this game are quite in depth, so I really do suggest just going through those tutorials. They really don't take long, just a couple minutes, so yeah, it's definitely worth doing. You also won't be flooded with messages on your screen that stop the game from playing and everything like that. You won't be disturbed throughout the gameplay that much at all, so definitely play through these tutorials. Once you've done all this, you should just be about out of Kaer Morhen, and at that point, once you've arrived at the Tavern, there's a few things you're going to want to do there. The main thing at the Tavern is making sure that you have food. Don't go ahead and spend all of your coin on it, but you are going to want some. You are going to have to get involved in a bit of combat, so it's definitely worth having some. I won't get involved into what any of that combat is, since I'm trying to keep this video as spoiler free as possible. Once you've done that, you'll just want to finish the quest line which is inside of the tavern, and then once you are outside of the tavern and have finished the combat that you get involved in, then you are good to go. You are into the open world. Something really key to take on board right now is to stick to White Orchard. Do not go outside of White Orchard. There really is no point, and you won't really gain anything from it at this point in the game. So if you were just to take one thing from this video, that is at the beginning of the game, just stay in the sort of map location that the current story is. Obviously, as the story progresses, then you don't really need to follow this sort of rule, but I would just say right at the beginning, stick to White Orchard, since this will actually sort of benefit you in a way. So once you have finished the combat outside the tavern, the very first thing you want to do is go over to the notice board that is very close to you. And at that notice board, you just want to pick up and read everything that you get from it. By reading everything that you get from this notice board, you should get access to a side quest and a Witcher contract. Now, just before I go ahead and recommend that you complete those, you are just going to want to walk a little bit further to the yellow exclamation mark on the map, and these are side quests. You're going to find a side quest where a man's building has burnt down, and you're going to want to accept this side quest, and then you're going to want to get started on either of the 3 missions that you've just got, that being the Witcher contract or one of the 2 side quests. Personally, to keep things nice and organised, I'd go with the Witcher contract first, and then I'd go ahead and complete those side quests, but that's just personal preference. It doesn't really matter what order you complete them in, as long as you get them done. There is a pretty useful tip that I would say is useful for any sort of mission that you are completing, and that is along your way, complete any of the random encounters or any of those map sort of quests that you get along the way. Just any of them, I really suggest just completing them, because if you want to go for 100% completion down that road, then this is just going to save you so much time. These are literally going to take a maximum of about 3 minutes. They really don't take long, and they're not that hard at all. This could be anything from a monster nest or just an abandoned place, but I really do just suggest completing these since it doesn't take long at all. And the same goes for finding side quests along the road. If you find a side quest or person that's just in need, then I would just go and interact with them and at least accept the side quest. You don't have to complete it there and then, but as long as you have that side quest ready in your quest log, then that's all you really need, and eventually you can just go ahead and complete that. It's just the idea of getting everything ready and organised. Once you have done those 3 missions, you're going to want to go ahead and continue with the story for a little bit. At this point, you should only have 1 story quest, so just keep going through that for a bit until you get to the point where you need to go to the herbalist. So you are going to want to go ahead and travel over to the herbalist and ask them about the buckthorn. Once you've done this, you should notice on your map another yellow exclamation mark. This should be very nearby, and if you don't notice this, then chances are you've already interacted with it. Now this will be a side quest where you need to go into a hut and you need to get a pan for this lady. Yes, you're hearing that right. You need to go into a hut and get a pan for this lady. It's a really odd one, I know, but trust me, it's actually really worth it. Upon going over to her, you're going to have a short bit of dialogue with her, and you don't really have to listen to any of this if you don't want to. It's not really necessary. There's no sort of storyline here. You literally just have to go in and grab a pan. So once you've had that dialogue, you can literally just use your blast and you'll be able to get straight inside of the hut. Once you're in there, you're just going to want to loot absolutely everything. You're going to want to go around, use your Witcher senses, and literally just loot everything. Oh, yeah, and also make sure you grab that pan, otherwise I don't think she'd be too happy about that one. So make sure you loot everything and grab that pan, and then you just want to go back outside. Then you have a little bit more dialogue, and then you're actually going to get quite a nice reward. You are going to get a load of food. Now you might be thinking, wow, that was just a bit of a waste of time and completely useless. Don't know why I did that. And well, it's actually not. Right at the beginning of the game, all you really need is food, to be honest, to be able to get through that combat. So being able to literally just spend about 30 seconds doing this quest, just walking in there, grabbing a pan, looting it up, going back outside, skipping through all the dialogue because it's pretty much useless. And then once you've done that, you literally just get some free food. It's pretty useful, considering right at the beginning of the game, the food can actually be quite expensive in The Witcher 3. But it is a great way to be able to heal yourself right at the beginning of the game as well. So being able to have this quest does definitely help you get started. So once you have completed that quest, you can then literally just go into the lake that is right next to you and being able to grab that buckthorn. And there you go, that's an easy way to be able to implement these quick side quests into the main story missions. So hopefully you now know not to just go straight through the story missions right at the beginning of the game. Obviously if you're doing a new game plus, then this is going to be a bit different. It's maybe not really worth doing some of these side quests unless you really want to play through them all again. But if you are going to be starting right from the beginning, then this is definitely really useful. Obviously if you don't want to play through the side quests, then definitely don't do that. If you really just want to play through the main story, then that's what you should do. It's a story game at the end of the day. Play what you enjoy. But if you are looking to get the most out of all of the content in The Witcher 3, then this is definitely the way to go about the beginning of the game. We are talking right at the beginning of the game, not sort of staggering on, but it is definitely worth doing those side quests. It will help you level up and it will help make those story missions a lot easier so you can just enjoy the story. You won't be having to retry as much and stuff like that. So those are some tips from me that I recommend taking on board right at the beginning of The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. I would love to hear your thoughts down in the comments below on these tips and if you would change anything. If you did enjoy this video though, please be sure to like, subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any content just like this. Subscribing is free and it really will help out the channel. The support lately has been really good, so I can't thank you enough for that. And if you are interested in starting your own Discord server but simply don't know where to start with creating it, then be sure to check out the Fiverr link in the pinned comment and the description below. So, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.